Hello everybody. So I have here a package sent to me from Optrel USA. About a month ago, their CEO, Grant Cooper, he reached out to me and he asked me if I wanted to evaluate their new Isofit headgear. And I replied back, you know what, that would be great, but I'm not going to be able to because on my Optrels, on my Crystal 2.0 and on my E684, I've already modified them to accept Miller headgear. I got this idea off of Welding Web. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Metal Man. I'm not sure, but regardless, I got the idea off of someone else, and I tried it out, and sure enough, it works great. But as you can see here, to use Miller headgear, it uses these square, you know, protrusions, counterparts, and the Optrels just have a standard, circular hole. So I had to hog these out in order to be able to use Miller headgear. So I told them, you know what, because of that, I'm not going to be able to unless you send me a shell as well, so I could transplant my auto darkening filter onto it, and then of course be able to use the Isofit headgear. So he replies back and says, no problem, we'll take care of that. So I was like, great, I'll post up my my findings if you do end up sending it. I'm gonna post it up on different internet forums and whatnot, whether it's good or bad or a combination of the two. I'm gonna go ahead and post it up. He's like, great, no problem. That's what we want. We want an honest review. So that's how that conversation went down. And then sure enough, so I think a couple weeks ago the Isofit headgear was released, and so here we have this package. So let's check out what they sent to me. Alright guys, so here we have their new helmet, the Panoramaxx CLT. So very gracious of Optrel and Grant for sending this out to me. Appreciate it, and it's very, very nice. Here we have the Isofit headgear. As you can see, it has a lot of support in here, and you can check out the information on it. It has loads of adjustability. That's the key for this headgear. So so let's have a look at it. Mounting points. So there are some mounting points here that also serve to separate the headgear from the shell itself. So with these mounting points, you can basically lower or raise the shell with respect to the headgear. So you can mount it higher or lower, and you can also separate it from the shell itself. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's have a look at this. So as you can see, there's like an outer component and inner components. There is a front forehead support and a rear support here where the ratcheting mechanism is. So how does this work? So it looks like a nice little intricate system with these cables here. So these are connected to the ratcheting mechanism, so that when you tighten up the ratcheting, it pulls the front and rear of the helmet, of the headgear, together. But the interesting part is that the cable runs right through the middle of these little plastic support points here and here, as well as on the other side as well. So when you tighten up that ratcheting mechanism, it also brings this inner component inward as well for added support. So it really cradles your entire sculpt practically from all directions. So that's it's pretty neat right there. The ratcheting mechanism has very fine adjustability, which is good. And then it's got a quick release. When you turn it in the other direction to release, it releases pretty much the whole thing instantaneously. So that's pretty cool. You see right now, I mean, there's no resistance, but if this was on my head, and you see how it draws those support points here, it draws them down. So that's kind of like, you know, that's what helps cradle the headgear onto your skull. It's hard to see, but there, it's in there. That's where the cable goes through. So overall, very, very neat. Again, you can adjust the forehead support up or down. Same thing on the back side. There's some mounting points here. Everything is padded. Very cool, very cool. Let's look at the helmet. I mean, since I have it here anyway, so it's basically a Crystal 2.0, but with the Panoramaxx style auto darkening lens. It's got the nose cut out, so you can really get the shell, the entire helmet closer to your eyes to get that wide field of vision. The controls are on the inside, so there's some differences between this and some of the previous generation Optrel helmets. Let's see, so we have our sensitivity here. Set it low if you're welding at high amps. You set it high if you're welding at low amperage to make sure it darkens. Charging port. So this has a built-in rechargeable battery system. So you got to charge it up, but once you do, it recharges on its own from ambient light and also from the arc light. It has the delay function, although on this one it is different. It has standard delay, but it also has a tack mode, and then it also has the twilight mode. So that serves to have, I guess, some more adjustability. So on this tack mode, I was reading that there is no delay. Once the arc light ceases to exist, it'll turn from dark back to light pretty much instantaneously with no delay. If you want to give it a delay, it has to be here on this portion right here. So here you can give it a delay. Now, once the arc extinguishes, it stays dark, and then it'll turn from dark all the way right back to the light state of shade 2.0. Now there's also the twilight. So here, after the arc is extinguished, it has a maximum delay, and then it'll go into twilight mode where it ramps down from the dark state. It'll slowly ramp down until it becomes completely clear again. So added adjustability, added control. Nice. We have manual or auto mode. So if you are in auto mode, you can adjust it from neutral. It's got -1, -2, +1, +2. That is just a relative adjustment. So the lens learns your preference based on what you set it. And you also have manual mode, which is this knob here. You can go from 7 to 12. So this is manual adjustment. It will not change the shade level of the lens on the fly the way that auto does. So this responds to the intensity of the arc light when it's on auto. There's a little A there. So if you're like, one of the main benefits is TIG welding. You start out at low amps, it maintains that same brightness when you increase your amperage. So it'll change the shade level on its own as you're welding if you set it to auto mode. And this, again, this is for the relative adjustment. Darker or lighter. That's why there's like a minus and a plus. Neutral being like a reference point. So the controls being up here, a little difficult maybe to get to. I mean, might not be wanting to change them all the time because your headgear is going to be in the way. Let's mount this back up here. So yeah, as you can see, they're kind of hard to get to with the Isofit headgear in place. I mean, just kind of push the forehead support out of the way. But I mean, I have small hands and it's a little cumbersome to get to. I mean, but not a big deal, I guess. Probably not something you're gonna want to change all the time, you know. But it's there. It's there, and overall, I like the system. I don't have to worry about changing, you know, those batteries, you know. So, what else is different? Oh, the grind mode. Grind mode is on the outside here, and they changed the indicator light. There used to be a red light right around this corner. I know sometimes it's hard to see if you wear glasses and then, you know, safety glasses on top of that like I do. Sometimes it blocks it out and you end up getting flashed because you forget that it's on grind mode. But on this one, grind mode has a blue blinking LED on the front, and it reflects off of this clear lens so you can see it right there. So it's a lot better visibility when you're on grind mode. So I like that. I definitely like that. It has an indicator on this side. That one right there is for when you charge it up. It'll tell you the status when you're charging it up. If you want to charge it up manually, you have to charge it up manually in the beginning, but it is there. What else? 5 sensors, corners, and also one right smack in the middle. And that, of course, is your array or charging for the charging system. So it's pretty cool. So let's try this out. Okay, so here I am. I'm trying it out, adjusting the ratchet mechanism on the back. I have my 3M respirator on and my glasses to make sure I have enough clearance for everything. And I'm just, you know, making sure I have all the adjustment points right. Again, adjusting the ratcheting mechanism, you know, shaking it up, making sure that it's not too loose, not too tight. Just double, triple checking everything, and yeah, the comfort's there. I can feel it. You know, it's a very nice fit. Making sure my downward exhaust isn't being blocked from my respirator. Checking the grind mode. You can see the blinking light. I can see it reflect off of the front clear, you know, the front lens, the clear plastic lens, and you know the clarity is there. You know, I have a nice wide field of vision, and it's just very comfortable. Yeah, it does what it's supposed to. Yeah, so 2 thumbs up. Good job, Optrel, and thank you once again, Optrel USA CEO Grant Cooper, for sending this out to me. All right, thanks for watching, guys.